having some fun, aren't we? After how many years in the wilderness, utterly hated, despised, ignored, the gold stock sector is preeminent currently. I want to do another quick update and just focus on my more established gold stocks, not getting into the basket items, the exploration items, which are also lately, by the way, starting to pop off. Some of which started quite a while ago, but you get my drift. The TSXV is making new highs, and we've got the speculation aspect of things kicking in. Let's start with let's say the prime gold miner in my holdings, Agnico Eagle. Here he goes. It's just up, 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 overbought, volume. To me, when you consider that the small junior exploration stocks are starting to go off as well, I believe we're late stage. This volume is FOMO. That's going to be my guess. I am watching for the exits mentally, if not functionally. I haven't taken any profits yet on any of these items here. I have skimmed a few profits elsewhere along the way, though. But I am going to get to a point where I'm pretty sure I will be taking partial profits, at least hedging, which has not been a pleasurable experience for me throughout this rally when I do choose to try it. So that has to be done nimbly as well. Right now I'm floating free, and it's looking good. But this will end, and I think dynamics are coming in play with the momos. The mainstream is catching on to our dear little gold stock sector, formerly hated. Now they're waking up and saying, what the? Weekly chart, getting overbought, steaming northward. Monthly chart, that's vertical, baby. And that's a launch, I believe, into the new macro and the new way things will be. But it's also vertical and going to get corrected at some point. AGI had done a real consolidation here after likely not producing results in line with the valuation and the expectations of the investor base. But with the whole sector going up, this consolidation remained bullish as it rode the uptrends on the two moving averages, 50-day and 200-day, and popped to a new high. That's all according to plan. This is one I could sell because I'm not overly engaged with it as far as its management goes, but I do like its political aspect or lack of political risk, or relatively lower political risk than many gold miners. Anyway, it's been a winner all along. I've held it forever. So as long as I'm holding the sector, why not let it run a little bit? But I do feel like we're coming to a caution point on everything. These vertical moves are not going to be sustainable. They're a launch to something very productive, but they will be corrected. Speaking of which, B2 Gold, which I'm not planning to sell because it's a turnaround and it's a catch-up. It's a Me Too coming out of the base. I want to see how far it can go. It's more of a conviction hold. Down today, 3%. Nice fat candle. I don't know what's causing that. We could check out the news here. There's nothing. And let's move on. This one cracks me up because it's doing the textbook positive move out of the diamond. Some of you may know I had this on Twitter, and as a man staring at charts, I stared at that diamond and wondered if it was going to prove to be a continuation pattern or a failure, because a diamond, at least in the TA handbook, there is no such thing, but the imaginary TA handbook would tell us that a diamond is just a straight consolidation prior to a decline or a continuation of the trend. This one is continuing. And it's coming out of a base as well, so that's nice. I'm holding it. For now, anyway. Anything is likely to be sold, so anything I mention that I'm holding, it means I'm holding it now with no current plans to sell it. Speaking of which, EQX, which was another one, not really in a base, but it was a labored, underperforming uptrend as the market wanted this all-star management team to actually put some meat in the results. And the last quarterly result they did, it's obvious that the company is doing the right things, divesting here, focusing there, and building a really solid mining situation. At least that's what the market thinks. I added it down here when I was looking for a catch-up Me Too type situation, and it did that. So thank you. I'm holding. I'm going to get to HUI in a minute, but let's jump to KGC. Bullish, bulling along, overbought, daily chart. Overbought, weekly chart. But look what happened at the last overbought point here. It got overbought and then it came all the way down from 8 to 720. That's sarcasm. So it's also a lesson about overbought situations. Let's remember there are a lot of FOMOs out there watching, sweating, waiting, hoping. So when you are positioned, there is a comfort level. But there's also the fear of Mr. Slammy, who tends to come out at the least opportune times when you don't expect him and ravage your holdings. So it's what makes markets fun. I wanted to go here. Yeah, there's the vertical line again. But again, I'm going to say one of my closely held views is the sector was utterly hated. Unlike Bitcoin, unlike AI, unlike, you name whatever was before AI, I can't think of them all. But every damn buzzword got the pump in the stock markets. And I've been waiting years to maybe have this long forgotten sector for real fundamental reasons start to draw in the Momo crowds. And I don't think I think it's FOMOs who have an understanding of gold stocks, at least a basic understanding. I think that it is FOMOs now chasing. I don't even think the mainstream has gotten off its AI opiate, let's call it. They're not aware. This shot into the new macro will help bring awareness. However, when we get the first FOMOs and MOMOs coming in, we're going to get a hard correction. That'll be a buying opportunity. Let's move on. NGD going vertical out of its base after it played catch up. Got Rainy River under control. It's one I've held for quite some time. I'm still holding it. I do think its valuation might have gotten stretched relative to other miners now, because it has been bulling for so long. Like relative to maybe a BTG or an EQX. Don't quote me on this stuff. I am not a stock analyst and I'm not obsessing on these things. Fundamentally, I am obsessing on the macro in which they exist, and also doing very light research on the stocks themselves. Rio mine developer, doing well, developing, not particularly overbought. Nice chart. It ticked a new high, and that's what this seems to keep doing. High, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, 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 high. And so Let's check this out on a longer term. It's quite a bull as well. So this one's due for, or if not now, being re-rated as a mine developer. Gold and silver royalty. I have it on good account that it's a very quality company, and I bought the flag. It broke out, tested support, new high, boom. So let's check out a longer term chart here. There really isn't one. It's a fairly new listing. I'm holding it. And then another royalty, Wheaton Precious Metals. You may recall from the last video I bought it on the test of the 50-day average, and now it's doing the right thing. I am anticipating a new high. That's all I'm asking of it. Very high quality gold and silver royalty, very richly valued compared to some other stocks, gold stocks. Let's get to HUI now, since this is today it's up higher than this, I believe. If the sector is up, which I believe it is, this chart stopped at yesterday's close. But you can see my target here was 500 plus or minus. Now we're 26 points higher, at least. And that's the thing. You're not going to put up a stop sign or call a halt just because you were right to this point. You're not going to control the animal spirits that come aboard, the enthusiasm, or just the outright bullishness for the reasons I've been discussing, which are these reasons. Get rid of some noise here in the chart. These reasons. Okay, all through, since this ill-fated bull move here, which other indicators could show that it was amid degrading fundamentals, as especially was this here, much of this whole period rose amid bad cyclical inflationary fundamentals, justified crash, recovery, but then the inflation machinery came again. And there was a whole new inflated cycle, compliments of Bernanke, down, recovery. This failure here is where we and FTRH said, that's it, that's enough. I think it was at 460 or so, I finally called that thing over. And then came the years of ignominy. And within this sector, one thing I continually find disturbing is, the cheerleaders cheered. They cheered here. We had to get bearish here for fundamental reasons. They cheered. They told us what a value the gold stocks are. We all cheered here into the 2020 recovery after whatever that damn COVID situation was. Down, where everybody's bleak here now. Higher low, I'm sorry. Higher low to this, where the bull market began. High, low, and then this is where we started. After this hold at number 4, we started planning for the target we had in play all along, which was 500. This used to be red as resistance at the 500 area. Now it's breaking through to green as support. Doesn't mean it's going to hold as support, by the way, but technically, price is above it. It's now support, former resistance. There's the vertical move again. There's the overbought on the monthly chart. And, it's possible HUI could tick a new high just for good measure if the animal spirits go soon enough or well enough. We've got everything from the August jobs data coming up to the Fed later this month to, I believe the end of an economic cycle starting to show up in the numbers. I think there's going to be a rough go for the stock market. Lots of ingredients. You've always got Trump's wax on, wax off routine happening. There's just so much mayhem out there. It's hard to keep things quiet and make sense, but that's what we're going to try to do. Anyway, we're looking for 0.5, and then, at some point we're going to get a correction. And given how the macro is set up now, fundamentally, that correction would be a buying opportunity. It could be severe, but let's cross that bridge when we come to it and close out this little video here. And I'm going to note that whether there's an interim correction or not, the ultimate target is to make a significant higher high, an all-time high for the index. That could come very soon if this just gets out of hand, or after a pretty severe correction, maybe even back down to here, depending what the broad market's doing. If everything rolls over, there could be some forced pukage all around. The margin man makes his call. So, but for right now, we're on the bull, and let's leave it at that.